I know! I'm so excited to see me too!
Hey! What's up, my peoples? MGO here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Medicom Real Action Heroes Attack on Titan. And there she is. And first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. So right up front there, we got Hanji being all Hanji. On this side of the box, she's just all on this side of the box, she's just striking a pose. On the top, logos. On the bottom, logos. On the back of the box, you have her just all... That's so hungry. And when you open up the front flap, and of course right there is where the figure sits with a nice image there of the wall, things and stuff. And that's basically it for the packaging. So moving right along here, you can see they have it written as Hans Zoe. Hans. Now, I have also seen official merchandise that has it written as Hanji Zoe, and that's how they pronounce it in the Japanese version of the cartoon, and that's what I'm used to. But I have also seen official merchandise that has it written as Hanji with a J-I. So again, apparently people can't agree on what her name is. Now, I watched the Japanese version of the cartoon, so I got used to hearing Hanji. I got used to saying Hanji, so I'm gonna call her Hanji. So if you have a problem with that, I will more than gladly take you out for a nice big bowl of oh well. It's a little bitter, but it still goes down so smooth. But anyway, here we have Hanji Zoe, and I love her. I love Hanji so much. I love her so much. She quickly became one of my favorite characters on the show. I love her so much. But let's get up close here with Hanji and take a look at that head sculpt. As usual, a very nicely done head sculpt. Nice detail there for the hair. As always, the hair does have those highlights and shadows. So always some nice paintwork going on there. Got her ponytail going on, which again is nicely molded. You got the straps back there for her glasses. You can see her glasses done in a nice transparent plastic. As always, nice paintwork there for the eyes. So as always, a very nicely done head sculpt. She has her nice yellow shirt here. Of course, she has the jacket with the wings of freedom emblazoned upon it. On the chest there, on the shoulder, and right there on the back. Nice and vibrant. And again, it's just a kind of like faux leathery material. And of course, you got all the straps going on there for the ODM gear. You got the little pouches there for the controls, which are also done in that kind of like faux leathery material. You got the belt going on there. And again, nicely detailed. You got nice silver buttons detailed with all of the straps and the buckles and all that good stuff going on there for the ODM gear. Again, the boots and the treads there, molded as well. And going up the back, again, it's just a standard uniform they all wear. But still worth showing off because it is very, very nicely done. Now, articulation-wise, the head is on a ball joint. You get some nice wiggly waggly. Actually, the neck is on a rotational joint up top, and hold on all that well. That's definitely, that's one little flaw of the figure here. But there's a rotational joint at the top of her neck. The base of her neck is actually what's on the ball joint there. So the wiggly waggly motion is right there at the base of the neck itself. So she can look up, she can look down, all the way down. And you have a nice side-to-side movement. Of course, you have 360-degree range of rotation there. Her ponytail is on a ball joint as well. So you can just take that and kind of angle that however you want. The arms, of course, can do a full 360. Of course, you do have to work with the clothing to make that happen, but you can pretty much get the arms in any position you want. You have outward movement. You do have forward and backward movements on that shoulder joint as well. You do have rotation. Seems like the rotational joint is like right up here. So you got biception as well as that hinge there. So as always, depending on how you have that oriented, you have some ab crunchage going on there. You get some wiggly waggly there at the waist. Legs Can go forward about that far. The hip joints are very stiff on my copy. You get the legs going forward that far, backward, that far, outward, that far. You got thigh rotation in there. Over 90 degrees of bend at the knee. And just make sure you kind of stuff these straps back down into the boots. There. And the feet can move up a little bit, can move down some. And you do get a little bit of ankle tiltage there. So pretty much the standard articulation here for all of these figures. So display base here, which is just done in a nice transparent plastic there. As usual, the arm itself has articulation. You have rotation here at the base. You have a hinge here, hinge here, hinge here. The claw can rotate. Actually, the arms can also rotate at these points right here as well. And you just take her, just clip that around her waist. And it holds her all nice and secure, like. So before we continue on with the accessories here, let's just go through some comparisons. Here she is with Eren Yeager. So you can see how they scale there with one another. Here she is with Armin. See how they look together. She's a little bit taller than Armin. So you got that. Here she is with Mikasa Tsukasa. Levi. So you can see how they look together. Again, she's a little bit taller. So there you have that. So now that we got that done, let's continue on with the accessories. Of course, she does include her omnidirectional mobility. Nicely painted, as they are on all of these figures. And we will just attach it to her. Again, you just have those posts that just plug into the ports there on her back. Make sure you just get all this stuff out of the way. That just plugs in nice and securely. And then we just take the zipline launchers and just plug them into those ports there on the side of the belt. Again, do not apply pressure on this bit itself because you can snap it off. Make sure you apply the pressure right there, right behind the post. Do not use those for leverage because you will break them. So, take that, just plug that in like so. Then you take these and the joints right there. Again, just get these out of the way. Just pop that on. Boop. There you go. She has her ODM gear on. And again, since these are on ball joints, you can kind of take them and just kind of angle them however you wish into these little holsters for storage, like so. So you got that going on. So now that we have her ODM gear equipped, we can move on. Of course, you do get the 6 little blade stumps right here. I already have 3 of them installed, just for the sake of time. But again, you can just take them, and they just slot right in like so. And just like with the others, again, these are shaped a specific way, so you want the sharp side pointed downward, really. If you want to also, this is one thing I never mention in these videos, but if you want, you can actually make it look like, you know, a broken blade, because that has happened on the show, where they just kind of break their blade down. This is where my tongue stops working. They break their blade down to the nub, you know, so you can actually do that if you want to. That's what I was trying to say before my tongue went. Anyway, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I don't know if that was a case of my brain stopped working. Doctor, I don't know. But anyway, get things situated back up here. And of course, you do get the 2 full-on blades right here, which, as always, are very nicely done. The big old box cutters. I like these swords. I really do. I'm going to have to track down some replicas of these swords, because I do quite like them. And, of course, you can't take the full-on blade, and the 4 slot does go all the way through. So you can store the blades like so, if you wish, and have the scabbards there just fully loaded up with blades, if you want to. And I do quite like that feature. And the last accessory for the ODM gear is the zip lines, with the tips done in a nice silver. And again, as I said in all of these reviews, make sure you are very careful with these because these are very rigid, these are very thin, so be careful with them because you can snap them if you're not careful. And these just plug in right there, like so, and she can do that, do all kinds of that. Just do that all day long, and do that. Hey, why not? Dare I say, why not? Also, of course, with all of these figures, you do get optional hands. Now, the hands that are on here right now are just the opened, relaxed hands. But you do also get a pair of closed fists. You also get a pair of splayed open hands. Right there. You do also get a pair of sword holding hands, and you also get two grabby hands. So you got that going on as well. Now with Hundra, you only get one optional alternate face here. Now her face does come off quite easily, as you saw earlier in the video. Her face just fell off, but you just pop her face off. And you want to remove the hairpiece. You see the hairpiece actually tabs into the back of this face piece here. Glasses, because as you can see here, you know, that's some thin plastic going on in there. So do be careful with her glasses. Don't use her glasses to like push her face back on. Use the hair, not the glasses, because if you're not careful, you could very well break that, because as you can see, that is a very thin piece right there. So be careful with her glasses. But you remove that, and we can bring in her her very excited I love Titans face, which again is very, very nicely done. The paintwork on these figures is very, very good. I love it. And you just take the face, and again, you just kind of feed that up through there, and those tabs will just go into the back, and that holds in pretty securely. This holds on a little bit better than the other face does. You can see it falls up pretty easily. But once you get this plugged back onto her head, it does hold everything in place, just not totally, not as secure as one would like. That could definitely stand to be a bit tighter. You can see it's actually wobbling around a little bit there, so not as tight as you would like, but still, there you go. Still, that is so Hanji right there. That is so Hanji. She's all like, oh, you know. Oh, I love her. I love her so much. But anyway, you do also get an alternate hair piece as well, and we can just remove this, and and her face is just going to fall out. So the alternate hairpiece you get here actually has her goggles on it, so you can see the difference between the two. So you got just the regular glasses, and you have the goggles there. So if you want, you can have her there with the goggles, and again, it just works the same way. Bits more securely, as you can see, like her face actually doesn't fall off that easily. So this hairpiece actually holds the faces on a lot better than the hairpiece with the regular glasses. So there she is with her goggles on, and you can see the lenses do have a little bit of a tint to them. So there you go. So there's Hanji being all Hanji. Oh, I love her. Anyway, moving right along. Of course, the last accessory that is included is the poncho, the green poncho there, with the Wings of Freedom emblazoned on the back. One thing I haven't actually spoken about with the poncho here is the poncho is actually made of a very nice material. Like, actually does seem like it's actually made of a quite sturdy material this is made out of. So, very good quality. And of course, you can just take this and drape this over her and just fasten it. Again, you have a little metal hook there, and there's just that little loop of thread right there. You just get there. It'll work with me. Come on. Oh, Hanji, don't fight me, Hanji. Don't fight me. Come on. Work with me, girl. Work with me, girl. You know I love you. There we go. You can put her poncho on if you want to. And again, the hood does have the wires on it, so you can position that how you want, or you can just have it down if you wish. Of course, her ponytail does kind of get in the way. You have to work around the ponytail here, but there you go. You can have the hood down, and just like with all the others, you do have a wire going down the front and around the bottom, so you can take that and, you know, just kind of pose that, angle that however you wish for your display. But personally, I'm not going to be displaying Hanji with her poncho. But still, it's always a nice display option nonetheless. And real quickly here, we'll just show off how the hands work here. The sword holding hands can work. Kind of work that down into her hand. And the fingers, you might need a little help just kind of getting the fingers over the triggers. For some reason with her hands, like, they're a little difficult to get her fingers on the triggers there, but there you go. There you go. You can have her holding the controls for the ODM gear, and the hands just pull out on that peg, and you just pop the new hand on, like so. So you can have her holding the controls, and if you want, of course, you can pop a blade on there. Never slay those. Those are her pets. There you go. So you got that going on as well. And you know what? We'll pop this hand off too. We'll pop this hand off, and we'll give her her excited grabby hand there. There we go. I love her. Did I mention I love her? I love her. I love her so much. This keeps falling out of the pouch. You stay there. There we go. So that's pretty much it there for Hanji Zoe. Again, one of my favorite characters on the show. I love her to death. You know, the figure, of course, is very well done. It does have its points of fragility, and it is mostly in the ODM gear. Just some things to be careful with. Another thing to be careful with this figure is definitely the glasses. Just be careful with those as well. But my opinion. So, there you go. So, if you would like this or any other Attack on Titan toys, you can always check out BigBadToyStory.com for availability. There will be a link in the mist, also linked in the description down below, so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it, so don't forget to check out M-Games, check out Lori Plan, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff down in the description below. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So, there is the Medicom Real Action Heroes Attack on Titan Hanji Zoe. And this is MGO saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, palm in your face. I will kill every last one. You might not want to do that with 4 eyes around. What? Why? Well, she gets a little, excitable. Excitable? What do you... Oh. Oh, well that's making me uncomfortable. It should.